up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. A common question that I've been getting recently is people know that I talk, very highly about my Mini Cooper, and they want to know, basically, have I had any issues? What issues have I had with this car in my almost 3 years of ownership with it? And I guess that's a good topic to bring up. You guys are interested to know what issues have arisen when it came to this car. So I'm happy to talk about it, to let you know, what I've done to try and prevent it, the common issues that I've had with it, and so forth. So let's get into it, and hopefully you enjoy. Guys, so we're here in the engine bay of my Mini Cooper. I'm sorry that it is a little messy. There is going to be a couple of changes coming around here soon, but one of the main issues that I had when I first got this car was the spark plugs and the ignition coils, which they're under the engine cover here. I would take it off, but I have to pull that off. But anyways, you get the idea. When I got the car, I tuned it and everything relatively quickly, and I noticed that the stock spark plugs couldn't handle what the car was doing, so the car was misfiring it at higher RPMs, and it was super annoying. I bought another set of stock plugs. I wasn't very knowledgeable of how these cars would run. I didn't really know. I mean, it's obviously a common thing that when you tune a car, you're running more boost through it, more power and all that, you should do a colder level spark plug. I was more a novice about that when I first, got into the whole tuning of cars and whatnot. I've always been a car person, but I never had I guess you could say a tuner car. I had more just basic NA, non-forced induction cars that, you really don't get much power when you tune them or you fool around with them. So this was my first really tuner car that I really got into like this. So finally, I ended up getting colder spark plugs. I did better ignition coils, and the cars ran great ever since. But when I tuned this car, it was a huge pain because for weeks at a time, I couldn't even have fun with the car. I couldn't put my foot down because the car would just stutter. I'd get a flashing check engine light. It was a big issue. It was super annoying. And yeah, so the very first problem that I had with this car was the ignition system, including the spark plugs and the ignition coils. Next problem that I had, and I think I've been speaking about this many times in the past couple of weeks, is the thermostat housing, which again, you probably can't see it. You might be able to see the top of it. Maybe over there. Anyways, you get the idea. It's hard to see, I'm sorry, but so recently I had changed out my thermostat housing on this car, and it was leaking, and my thermostat got stuck open. And I know it got stuck open because the car wasn't overheating, but the temperature was fluctuating, up and down, up and down, up and down. So at one point, it would be at 215, it would drop to 160 and shoot up to 230. And in the span of 10 seconds, the temperature would drop up and down 40, 50, 60 degrees even sometimes. So I knew it was time to change it. I would get a sporadic check engine light for it as well. So I knew hey, you know what? It's time to change it. It's a pain of a job to do, unfortunately, but I ended up doing it, and I've said it before in other videos. I made a video on a how-to, and I lost it because the memory card that I had in my camera for some reason corrupted, and I lost another 2 or 3 videos. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, so my thermostat housing, that was another issue that I had. This was more of a recent issue, and that's been changed out. The car's been running good. The coolant systems in these cars are a little, wonky when it comes to that. Sometimes you have to bleed the system. I had to bleed the system 3 to 4 times before it was actually good. These systems create a lot of air pockets, so it is what it is. But that's another issue that I've had with my personal car, is the thermostat housing. Another big issue, guys, that I had, this is another recent problem as well. So if you're familiar with the N18 engine, on the stock intake tube, you have 2 sensors. There's going to be one on right here, which is on the driver's side, but if you're looking forward on the car, it's on your right-hand side. And you're going to have another sensor that's going to be on the left here that connects to the stock intake tube. Those are PCV heaters. Now, mind you, when you do an aftermarket intake like this, they don't have the plugs for them. So the plugs that come off of them, I tucked mine away. Let me try and find them down here. They disappeared on me. Okay, well, oh, I found one here. So I can show you an example of it. So this is one of the plugs for the PCV heater right here. So I couldn't, for some reason, you can bypass that with resistors. So if you put a resistor through there and you do it, it's fine. But for some reason, my car just wasn't accepting them. You know, it would work for a couple of days and it would blow the resistors out. And I was using the proper ohm resistor and all that, you know, getting recommendations from people on what to use. And I was using what they were telling me and it would work for a little bit, but then they would blow out constantly. And it was annoying because when the PCV heaters aren't functioning, it will cause a check engine light. It won't cause any issues to the car, the way the car performs or anything like that. But it was annoying because the car was running great, and to see the check engine light on, now I understand, like, these, you know, cars are prone to having check engine lights. Like, I understand that, but the fact that it was something so simple and stupid like that, it was killing me. So finally, I had a buddy recommend me get these, and I'll link these down in the description actually, in case anybody's interested. But these are airbag seat resistors for I believe it's an Evo, and they actually work really well, and they're really nice. They're all shrink wrapped and heat wrapped here, and they plug in, and, you know, just tuck them away. And since I've gotten these, I've had literally no problems, no check engine lights, they haven't blown out. It's amazing. So I'll link those down. That's another problem that I had with the car. All right, guys, last but not least, the problem, and it's an issue that I'm having actually as we speak. My clutch is on its way out. I think I've mentioned it in past videos that I'm having a clutch issue. After a couple of pulls, it does start to get very hot and it starts to slip. So I'm going to be having to do that very soon. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Before, you know, me taking it easy on this car more, I would beat on it. I'm not gonna, you know, track days, doing quarter-mile passes, things like that. So it really ate up the life of the clutch, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I gotta replace it. I'm gonna be doing that soon, hopefully. It is a lot of money. These cars, you have to pull the engine to do the clutch, and yeah, it is what it is. So that's the last issue that I've had with this car that I can really think of from the top of my head. Maybe little things here and there, but things that maybe, you know, would make the car drive or feel or be annoying, it really hasn't done any of that stuff. I've had, knock on wood, a pretty reliable Mini. Has never let me down, anything like that. So that's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, that's going to conclude the video. I know a lot of you have asked me, like, personally, what has happened with my car. Has there been anything that's broken on my car? How do I deal with it and whatnot? And honestly, look, these cars are great, but you got to do some maintenance on them. There are some known problems, like I had mentioned in my other video. So you might be going through the same things that I'm going through, but you got to be patient. Do what you got to do the maintenance that you got to do. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out and lets me, you know, keep putting out videos for you guys, letting YouTube know that I'm doing an okay job. Anyways, let me know what problems you've had with your car. Anything big, any really bad issues, or anything kind of minor. How long have you owned your car? You know, I know some of you guys have owned your car for 5, 10 plus years and have had 0 issues, which is great. So anyways, yeah, let me know. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of your day and have a good one.